Trent, you're on Heart of the Matter.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Trent. How are you?
Great. Hey, you've of course opened my eyes a lot about the eldest religion. I'm hoping you could help bring some clarity to one more question for me.
Sure, I'll try.
You briefly brought up the Lamanites, and you kind of talked about polygamy and how the LDS Church is believe all laws are eternal. And I guess my question is, African American at one time were not able to hold the priesthood in the LDS Church. It seems like in years past now they've flopped, and kind of wondering why.
Well, it's good you asked that. Two things. One, we're going to be covering this because we're now leaving polygamy in the history of the church, and we're entering into the blacks and the priesthood and how that changed. But bottom line, they were getting pressure. There was all kinds of things occurring. One, they were getting pressure. BYU's sports teams were not playing them. Stanford University said, we are not going to compete with them, and it became a big thing in the news. That prefaced it. Secondly, they built a temple in Brazil. And all the people in Brazil came together and put their money together to build this temple, and come to find out that most of them had black blood. And so Spencer W. Kimball, he was like, we got to do something about that. So he received a revelation, and it said, hey, blacks can now hold the priesthood. Now, the interesting thing about blacks in the priesthood is the reason, according to Brigham Young and dating back through Mark E. Peterson, 1956, most LDS leaders all the way back then were always talking about how it was the curse of Cain. It was because Cain killed Abel, he received a black skin, a mark, and he roamed the earth a vagabond, okay? That black skin was passed on, passed on, passed on, passed on. Now they say that all worthy male members can hold the priesthood of the LDS Church. Therefore, they're saying that the black people are now worthy. So therefore, it would mean people who are now in black families being born should be white, according to their doctrine. Because they're no longer with the curse of Cain, because they can now righteously hold this priesthood. So it constantly is a conflagration of ideas that conflict with each other, but they don't care. It's a really great call, Trent. We're going to cover blacks in the priesthood in depth in probably 4 or 5 parts coming up in the next month.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. God bless you.
You too, Shawn.
Take care.